You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. This week on The Biz, the monthly update series for May 2013. And on today's show, the Insurance Industry Update with special guest Eric Palmer, nationally recognized annuity industry expert.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. Of course, I'm your host, Steve Savant, and we're broadcasting to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain. And with me today, all that is the millennial generation and our new thinking and innovation. And if you missed our annuity show, you missed Eric's big take on about 3 big carriers. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, I want you to go back on Monday's show because we talked about 3 contracts right now that are hotter than anything. And as Eric predicted 30 days ago, you're going to see the industry keep moving into innovation. Well, I have to tell you, I just got back from New Orleans. You know, that was great.
How was it?
It was, well, first of all, as soon as I saw my plate of Creole blackened everything, I ordered a large milk to drink before because I knew I'd get kicked later. You know, so I want to make sure. Well, we were at LIMRA,
right,
the National Convention at LIMRA, which I spoke about all that we're doing in social media and all that we're doing in video. And I have to tell you, the industry was not only stunned by what we're doing, right, but this is where everybody's going, and they're looking to us as the pioneers and vanguard of all this.
Well, you know, we've been doing video for well over 2 years now. There's a big learning curve to understanding, you know, how to get something put together that's going to be relative to the viewer out there and get it done within a short period of time. Often we find ourselves rushing through these 15 minutes that we have. They're so precious as far as what we have to say, but really at the end of the day, we understand that everybody has a lot on their plate. We have a short attention span as a human race. We have to deliver as much as we can in the shortest period of time. So.
Oh yeah, well, you know, think what's hitting the news now, and a lot of people have been saying, Steve, you've been blogging a lot on Obamacare at the PPACA, and the reason I have is because now they're thinking about, think about this, they're thinking about when you go to the exchange, not just medical insurance, but they may start offering life insurance and disability. That blew me away.
Well, it's going to be looked at 2 different ways, I think. You're going to have individuals out there saying, well, that's taken away the opportunity of the independents out there that have to market to life insurance, annuities, or these other type of insurance products. Or you can take a standpoint from the point of view that this is creating more opportunity and more prospects for us to view. In fact, we've talked to quite a few health insurance agents who look at the opportunity not to get out of the health insurance market, but an opportunity to increase your cross-selling capabilities because you are going to be forced to talk to more people. You might not get paid very well to sell health insurance at a mass scale, but you can have that many more prospects to talk about life, disability, long-term care, annuities, or what have you.
And if you're a medical licensed agent and you missed our 2 big webinars last week on coming out from Obamacare into either, we gave you 3 opportunities actually, go into morbidity market only, LTC and DI, or come into our world, mortality, life and annuity, or do a combination of both, and we already have the educational suites already done on life and annuities. If you're coming in and say, Steve, I don't know anything about it, please go out to that seminar. We'll tell you exactly how to get in touch with us on that. That, to me, if you're coming out of medical insurance and you're looking for different ideas or revenues, we could be the play for you, and we're certainly the educators. Now, here's another thing. Listen, I'm surprised at this article, and I took major issue with it. The title of the article was, and it was all over the net, Major Life Events Don't Lead to Life Insurance. I'm thinking, since when? We carry probably the greatest categories of life events, divorce checklists. We carry every single net worth statement so you can walk through client events, life events, all kinds of traditional modeling already broken out in a crib sheet. If you'll just go to them and say, Steve, I don't even know that it existed. Just order it at thebiz.tv. Just say, Steve, I want the checklist for divorce. I want the life events. We have found time and again that when we do annual reviews and you go through the gauntlet, which is life events, you'll find out this is the most natural prospecting to sell to existing clients.
Well, at the end of the day, too, we have to remember it's age specific.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we can't just think that life events are occurring in your 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, there's life events from the 20s on.
Oh, yeah.
There's life events pre-college. You know, we have a Sage College Funding program, for example, where we have the opportunity to provide potential scholarships to some colleges for individuals just sitting down and meeting with you. So there's life events all across the map, and the biggest one we all just went through on April 15th. Paying your taxes and going through tax season is a life event, at least in my category. So
painful.
That's a major reason right there in and of itself to start addressing addressing things like life insurance or needs for annuities. We've talked about it countless times.
Again, you can order it right at thebiz.tv. I'm happy to send it to you. Here's an article that's a big duh. It says baby boomers underfunding retirement. Oh, was that a revelation or an aberration? I don't know, but think about this. Right now, we're using new lifestyle credits from Milliman Actuaries telling us how long we're going to live. We've combined that with the 2008 VBT tables from the Society of Actuaries, and when you look at how long people are going to live, talk about underfunded, that's an understatement.
Well, and the last statistic I heard, and the recent LIMRA meeting might even have provided some more up-to-date information, but last time I heard the average 401k is somewhere around $125,000 for those that are retiring today. So you do the simple math. How much money are you living on, and how long is $125,000 going to last you? And even if you have diversified into some IRAs, maybe you've got some non-qualified assets, most likely the average baby boomer is retiring with about a third of what they actually need to get to that life expectancy mark that we're starting to find out. So everybody's underfunded. We've been underfunding. You know, the question should be, what's it going to take to stop that trend? And I think that everybody's writing articles right now talking about the obvious. What's not obvious? Well, how do we get out of the hole? That's what we need to figure out.
And I mean, and not only is that a legitimate issue, think about this. I read an article that says that half of the British Commonwealth is so underfunded. And now this is why I look at, they're publishing that in an American insurance news feed.
Jeez.
As if we don't have our own problems, right? So thank you. Yeah, we're not giving you anybody money because we don't have it.
Right.
We need to start putting money aside. We have tactical ways, very strategic ways to get you back on plan, especially if you're thinking about, like I am, trying to delay my Social Security and my RMDs from my qualified plan. I think that's the game. When we come back from the break, we'll continue our monthly insurance industry update for May 2013 with Eric Palmer. And don't forget to enroll at IULUniversity.com for the best training, education, and sales support when it comes to life insurance for retirement income.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Did you know the average 401k runs out of money just 7 to 8 years into retirement? Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications have warned of the difficulty of saving with a 401k. But what if there was a way to create tax-free lifetime retirement income with no stock market risk? Good news, there is.
You know, living in fear of the next market dive is not the way I want to live my life.
Why would I go out there and take on risk when I don't need to?
I have a lot less stress knowing I can't lose any more of my retirement savings in the stock market.
Call now to receive your free, no-obligation analysis of what this retirement vehicle could do for you, a comparison to your current retirement plan, and a free video that explains this exciting opportunity. Start planning a retirement you can enjoy instead of worrying about future tax increases and stock market losses. Creating income that will last your entire life is the most important thing you'll ever do. Take control of your future. Call now for your free analysis, comparison, and video.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant with Eric Palmer. And remember, you can order today's materials at thebiz.tv. And when you're out there, click on the Backroom Technician icon for your free 30-day trial. We'll give you access to the best needs analysis and client education material that addresses almost every financial planning scenario. I've been using it for 22 years. A lot of our giveaways are right off Backroom Technician, and for $50 a month, I'm telling you, it's great. But you get to drive it free for 30 days and see how you like it.
Well, I think what's interesting, I'm going to make a comment about Backroom Technician. I mean, we're on the subject of all these different topics, and sometimes you'll hear us mention something that you think would be really great to take into a business owner. You can instantly go to that Backroom Technician tool and even pull down a presentation that's been built on it. So you're never going to have the same sales opportunity. To go in with one presentation every time is limiting yourself to what types of things you could be presenting to these clients, especially when it comes to business owners. Backroom Technician's been a tool it's a godsend, because at the end of the day, you might need to sell a buy-sell, you might need a presentation piece on it. It's all in that system.
I've been using it for 22 years. I got to tell you, it's top of the line. And remember, several big broker-dealers have adopted it as client communication. So that's a huge issue. And remember, speaking about broker-dealers, don't go forward with anything you hear on our show until you always consult your tax advisor, legal counsel, and your broker-dealer compliance officer if you're FINRA licensed. We're in the middle of our 2013 May update on the industry. Eric, I'm looking at this whole thing. people kind of said, well, we're not into estate planning anymore because the new unified credit's above $10+ million, and most of America's under that. But we've been going state by state. Now, I'm talking about our state, Arizona, maybe your state, whatever your state is. Hardly anybody is shadowing the unified credit federal numbers. So do we have state issues? We certainly have them at the state level.
Right.
Does that surprise you that people are thinking that this is over?
It was at the state of Illinois, or something was even under $1 million. So on an individual basis.
Right.
So from a 5 million standpoint to under $1 million, there still is a very large hole in estate taxes at a state level, which means there's a very large opportunity to be presenting life insurance to your clients. Where do you get that list, though, I think is the question we always get. How do you find out on a state level what that exemption is?
I'm not going to promise you, but I think I know the attorney, and we had him here 2 years ago at a convention, and he had it blocked out by state. If I can get that, again, you can call and call me, no promises though, thebiz.tv, and say, Steve, give me the state by state. And if he can give it to me, I'll give it to you. I'm happy to do it. We think this is a hot idea because nobody is addressing it. And that's why I think one of the popularity issues of our show is we always bring you anomalous, distinctive, differentiation issues to differentiate your practice. And don't be sitting there trying to get a home run whale of a client at 10 million above when there are thousands of clients that are exposed to state taxes this level.
Well, what we're experiencing right now actually too is a lot of individuals at that income level or having a net of over 10, they're starting to realize that they're overinsured, or at least they're thinking that they're overinsured based on the counsel that they're getting from potential advisors or counsel that they have at their businesses or their individual estates. And to counter that, give us a call first. Just don't accept the fact that your client or their counselor is saying that they're potentially overinsured. Check with us because at a state level, that might be where they happen to be underinsured.
I got to talk about this next article. I was in shock. Listen to this survey, and this is supposed to be a, quote, worldwide survey. It says, U.S. insurers surpass the rest of the world in customer satisfaction. I was in shock. I mean, of all the negative, we're out in the blogosphere. I see it all day long. Right. You'd figure that the insurance industry has got the lowest PR in the world. But when I looked at this article, I thought to myself, well, if we're the best in customer satisfaction, the rest of the foreign reinsurers must be terrible.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But I was just kind of caught by the article because generally we don't see PR like that ever. Now I want to kind of move on though. Here is a pick I noticed, and it was one of the editor picks off Producers Web. Little kudos for them. The article was great because it was very intense. I read the whole thing. It was great. More boomers are buying longevity annuities. And think about this. That did not come from an industrial site. That came from what's the name of it? Market Watch.
Market Watch.
That came from Market Watch. So that surprised me. Oh, they're starting to call it, what do they call it? Longevity annuities. That's not even what we call it.
Well, Market Watch, remember, they're a Wall Street Journal company. So, and that's the very same company that I don't know how many years ago it was, came out with the story about TIAA-CREF, where there was a 92-year-old, they didn't take into account any type of mortality issues when they sold an immediate income product, and there was a lot of the value in the estate was lost. So, they've always been a company that keeps their eye on that. I think I like the fact that they're starting to pay attention to that longevity insurance, but we're seeing that already reflected in the products that are out and available today. We have opportunities for lifetime income riders that have living benefits. We have life insurance products with living benefits. So I think that longevity concept is out there. There's guarantees that keep us past life expectancy, but also benefits that are addressing what happens to you when you do get to 85. You're still alive, but you're probably not in the best shape you were 40, 50 years ago. So you might need living assistance. You might need some additional care that you're going to need something to pay for it with, and that's what these products are doing.
Well, I'm always surprised when somebody else outside our industry starts coining phrases and starts moving the public down towards what we're already doing anyways. And remember, if you have longevity in your family, and remember, almost 20% of our audience is consumer, if you have longevity, you need to start looking at lifetime income you can't outlive. We've been talking about it. If you've been seeing my tweets lately, it's called Retirement Inspirement. We've been looking at different ways to refresh your view of retirement, and one of those, part of your portfolio, has to be in this thing called longevity annuity. And remember, I didn't make that up. That came from Market Watch. I want to shift gears a little bit on reserves. Remember, we talked about reserves, AG 38. We talked about XXX. Now they're talking about AG 37 for variable contracts. Interesting. The reserves are not as necessary. They're not as big. And you're already seeing carriers move a little bit over to the VUL land. Are we heading for variable life again? I'm telling you, just beyond the horizon. You heard it here first. Well, that's what's on our show for today. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or email me at steve@thebiz.tv. Well, that's the Buzz on the Biz for today. You've been in the zone, the business insurance zone.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.